Well, Penn State just found its lightweight of the future in Landon Sidun for the class of 2027, and we get to hear from Sidun himself why he chose the Nittany Lions.
You are Locked On Nittany Lions, your daily podcast on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked on to Penn State Wrestling, and as always, thank you so much for making Locked On Nittany Lions your first listen and watch every single day. My name is Zach Sako, and I'm your host of the show, credentialed media member for both Penn State Wrestling and Penn State Football. And we get the chance to welcome back the number 2 overall prospect in the class of 2027, the number 1 lightweight in the class of 2027. He is now officially committed to the Penn State Nittany Lions. That is Landon Sidun, and he is going to be joining today's show to talk about why he committed to Penn State, why he made the decision now as opposed to waiting a little longer, because, class of 2027, that is far away, but he knew he wanted to be a Nittany Lion now. Sidun also talks about who's number 1, a recent competition that he participated in where he dominated, and this was his first action back. This was his first return to live competition since a long-term injury that he had dealt with. We're also going to hear from him on the class of 2027, how he plans to help build it with Penn State, his expectations, his goals for his entire wrestling career. We're going to get into all of it. So without further ado, here's my exclusive interview with Landon Sidun, Penn State Wrestling commit for the class of 2027. And it is a privilege to now be joined by Penn State Wrestling class of 2027 commit, Landon Sidun, and fans of the show actually will remember him because we got to talk to him in the earlier stages of his recruitment, but now it is official. He is a part of the class of 2027 for Cale Sanderson's squad. Landon, thank you so much for the time, and thank you so much for coming back on the podcast.
No, thanks for having me back. I'm very excited to get to talk to you again.
Yeah, it's going to be a great conversation as now we get to talk about the commitment itself. And let's begin there before we get into some other things like who's number 1 and everything else. So initially, in short, why Penn State? Why now? Why did you know that the decision was right? It was good now to make the decision to commit to the Nittany Lions.
So I've been up there for RTC practices. I got to see the wrestling. I always loved how the wrestling room was and how everyone was in a room. But when I got to go on my visit, I got to see what the campus life's going to be like outside of just wrestling, and that really sold me. I love the area. I loved how the fans and everything were going around. It's where you want to be. It just felt like home.
Talk about you were at the whiteout game, the whiteout football game, right?
Yeah.
I know the result didn't go in Penn State's favor, but what was that weekend like where you get to spend time with the coaches, you get to spend time with potential other teammates because you're not committed in that given moment. Was that the final, was that kind of the part to cross the finish line for you and your commitment, or just kind of it just added to the whole conversation, the pitch that Penn State was making?
It added everything. I always really liked Penn State. Then just being around everyone, like I said, just everyone's a great people up there, just a good environment you want to be around. But just also that game was awesome because you got to see what Penn State fans love their sports. So it's just like, it's really cool when not just your team's invested, but there's such a fan base behind it. So you're always going to have supporters.
What were your non-negotiables when it came to, and because there are a lot of wrestling programs are at the top. Yes, Penn State, of course, has been the best of the best, especially recently here, but there are a lot of similar standards at tons of other programs. What were those non-negotiables and how did Penn State check more of those boxes?
They're very proven with what the goals I want to do. Just looking back, how many national champs and how many guys are going on in wrestling and senior level. And like, that's my goals in life. I want to go on and win national titles. Then beyond that, go do the Olympics and the world team stuff. And there's no better place to be than Penn State.
Especially with how the lightweight spot has gone. You're projected around 125, potentially 133. We're not going to figure out the long-term timeline today, but you're definitely going to be at one of those lighter weight classes. You get to work alongside Lilledahl, at least for one season, but just kind of, trusting Nick Lee to be a mentor, trusting guys that are ahead of you like Luke Lilledahl to work alongside them. How easy was it to know that you were going to get to be teammates and work together with them?
Oh, it's awesome. You see how much success all those guys have, him, Marcus, and there's going to be Ono in a room, and you can go on and on about the great guys in a room. So it's just like there's always going to be there's always going to be someone in there to push you, and those guys have the same goals you do. So you're going to go in a room with like-minded people every day, and that's just how you keep getting better and better.
And you mentioned Ono, of course, talking about Lilledahl. I mean, Marcus Blaze, a part of this class of 2025. Just again, talking about the talent that's going to be there. Iron sharpens iron, as they say. So, and in continuing off of that, you're still in the process of building up your skill set. We're going to talk about who's number one because you had an incredible performance there, winning 13-4. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But what skills do you really want to work on? What skills do you really want to perfect so that you can focus on other things or just continue getting better and be able to use Penn State when you step onto campus as a springboard to really launch and hit the ground running?
I come into practice every day open to get better. I fully believe that every day you go in there, I'm not, every day is different for me. Like, I'm not going in there, I need to work on certain this, but it's whatever coaches see. And I go based on that. But if there's a position I really feel like, I'll ask the coach and ask questions. I just feel like in that room, there's so many great people who are just going to keep growing and growing due to just the amount of resources. I just feel like that's where I'm going to where I'm going to grow to be my best.
And let's talk about the adversity that you faced along the way now. So yes, you're fully healthy, as we can all tell with this recent performance at who's number one. But for those who don't know, you had a season-ending injury your sophomore season. You don't get to wrestle in the postseason, and adversity to handle that early in your career, it hasn't set you back. But feel free to. I'll let you speak on that behalf. What did that moment do for you? How did it actually make you a better wrestler? Because from what I can tell, that the get back has been really good for you at this time.
It really gave me time this summer just to focus on growth. This summer I got to sit down and I got to really just worry about getting better, not worry about competing, not worrying about making weight and everything like that. It's just this summer was see how good I can really get, and I feel like I did all I could. Had the best summer I ever had in my life. The most training I ever did is just this summer. I was really, like I said, I got to sit down and I focused on just getting better, and I really enjoyed it. I was very excited to come back and see face a previous opponent to see like where my gains have, and I was very happy with it.
And talk about your inner circle right now, because in that moment, it's definitely not going to be exciting. You're probably not going to look forward, how's the injury rehab going to go? Where am I going to go from here? But now you're kind of back into full force and then some. So the coaches, the influences that you've had, whether they're Penn State connected or not, and and maybe you've had conversations with Penn State affiliated wrestlers at the time to kind of work your way through this. But what has the Norwin coaching staff or your personal trainers, family and friends, who are the people that you can point to and say they helped me get through this tough spot?
I've been around Coach Kyle Martin. They had a hard time keeping me off the mat off the start, but we did everything we could to keep me just staying around. I was always around practice, doing what I can, just little agility stuff, just whatever I can do. But my family, my dad, my mom, they always were by me, just saying, "Oh, we're just gonna get through this." And then also I was going down to FSQ, my lifting coach. Even with the cast on, he still had stuff for me to lift in. So I was always staying engaged, but I was very eager to get back to wrestling. But during that process, it showed me how much I really love the sport. Like, I knew I really loved it before, but this really showed me like how much I really do and how much I need it. So I feel like it just got me very hungry for this upcoming season, and I've never been so excited to compete in my life.
Can you take us through, let's sum it up here, and then we'll talk about the recent competition here. Can you take us through the actual moment and describe to us what that moment where you came to the ultimate decision and then you talked to Coach Sanderson and anybody else about saying, hey, I'm going to commit to the class of 2027. What was that exact moment like?
I was very excited to reach out and tell him I went home for couple days and just talked to my parents. When I left there, I'm like, man, this is where I gotta be. But a couple days to just make sure, reinsure everything. And I sent Coach Cody a text and told him I'm coming, and I didn't even give my mom time to respond. Like, she knew that's where I was gonna go, but I couldn't wait no longer. I had to tell him. I just felt like that's where I needed to be.
Still to come on this episode of Locked On Nittany Lions, Landon's going to tell us about who's number one, the recent live competition that he was in. First time back in live action since his long-term injury. How did it go? What were his takeaways? That is coming up next here after the break. Today's episode is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride with more IIH Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings the same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from metallic accents to available Nappa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's the most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move. Whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors, this is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. You'll love how the Peloton IQ system offers real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your reps, suggests the right weights, and corrects your form, making every rep safer and smarter. The swivel screen is a game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat. And the personalized class recommendations keep you engaged, and you get workouts tailored to your vibe and your energy level each week. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. That's onepeloton.com. All right, now let's break down the who's number one competition, because this is truly, again, the best of the best, the future of collegiate wrestling, and maybe even beyond that. And we're going to talk about your goals and a fellow superstar that's in the class of 2027 as well later on in the conversation. But for who's number one, going into this competition, what was your game plan? What was your mindset going up against a fellow top-tier wrestler who's actually committed to Oklahoma State in Rockland Zinkin? Just what was the mindset? What was the plan? And how did you execute it?
So all week, for a couple weeks in practice, I'm just making sure I'm worried about myself. Making sure I'm peaking at the best, making sure I'm feeling well, make sure all my stuff's clicking right. I really couldn't game plan because I had to watch the first match between Rockland and Don Mutoretto, and I had the winner of between those two. So it was a figure out who it was, but I know those guys. I've seen those guys around a lot. They're both very great wrestlers. So I knew in my mind I had to be ready to go. I didn't wrestle and compete for a while, but I felt like that had me super excited. I wasn't nervous at all because I wrestled all my life. I seen all this stuff, but just more excited than ever to get out there and compete against these great guys. So I feel like that was a really good advantage this time. Just kind of just felt like I could just let it rip.
Well, so that was, so just to clarify it for me and anybody else that's listening, that was your first live competition since the injury, correct?
Yep, first match in 8 months.
Wow. And the result was 13-4. Just so everybody's clear that what Landon did here, 13-4, first live action against live competition since the injury, and going up against somebody who is committed to Oklahoma State. Just to make fans aware of, like, hey, this is what Penn State, is getting. What kind of wrestler, what kind of competitor Landon is. Talk about, and in respect to this match against Zinkin, but just overall, where do you feel like you have the best advantage in these head-to-head matchups? Is it mindset? Because, right, you overcome that adversity. People would say, hey, he's probably ice cold going into this match. Or is there a particular skill set? Is it your hand fighting, your reattacks, your speed, defense? Where would you point to as maybe 2 or 3 skills that, I know that I'm most likely going to have the advantage here?
I feel like I was just very well rounded that match, but that match I did very well, getting my leg attacks and finishing clean. Also, my defense was there. I wasn't giving up free stuff. I just felt like I held very good position this match, and it helped my advantage because I was able to attack and get my scores whenever I needed to.
Now, Penn State's become, I mean, they've always been an offensive minded group, but Cale Sanderson has really emphasized, especially with the point changes and the rule changes recently, that, hey, we're going to score. We're going to focus on major decisions, tech falls above all else. Are you more partial to lighting up the scoreboard, getting a tech fall, getting those bonus points, or those defensive struggles where it is a chess match, every second counts? What's your pace? How do you like to move?
I like those matches where you're scoring points. Wrestling's a lot more fun when you're out there scoring points and it's enjoyable. So, but if the match needs to come down to one of those tough chess matches, I feel very comfortable that I'm ready to go. But I'm always going to be the guy pushing for points and offense.
Yeah, you got to be, especially at the top level, you got to be prepared for anything because you might run into that guy that does like defense, and so not being predisposition to having, I need this kind of match to succeed. It's really you're matchupless, so to speak. If Super 32, when that rolls around, if you happen to wrestle Zenkin again or any of these, any other unknown elite competitors, what adjustments do you think you would make overall just to kind of refine your game to be better than you were your last time out there?
Just focusing on my setups of shots. Just making sure just everything's well rounded again. Just got to stay in my position. Got to stay engaged. Just don't get out of it. You got to stay in the fight. So just basically all that. Just need to be prepared and ready to go.
Let's talk about this class of 2027. And it was Penn State getting off to a great start for 2027. You're joining Gavin Mangano, who was the first one to commit. He's projected about 149, 157, and then you follow up with your commitment. So the class of 2027 is off to a phenomenal start, and I'm pretty sure Penn State is not finished from here. But talk about being teammates with a wrestler like Mangano, and, what are you looking forward to, being connected with him and helping build this class of 2027 together alongside him?
Oh, it's awesome to see who the guys you're going to be on a team with. And like, these are colleges, like you're going to see your real teammates. Like, you're going to spend a lot of time with these guys. It's just exciting that you're both coming into such a great program, and just, you're going to be the guys that are going to keep it going. So it's just, I'm very happy and excited that we're going to keep this tradition going.
Talk about Gavin specifically as a competitor. How much have you been in contact with him? What kind of person he is, both on and off the mat? I know I imagine you guys again will get some practice sessions together, but he is in a little bit of an upper weight class there. So, but just overall, who is Gavin? What is he bringing to Penn State individually?
From what I've been around him, he seems like a great guy. He's coming from a great program of KD trained. So, those guys are always going to be great wrestlers and everything. So I just feel like Gavin's going to be a great guy to have in a room, and he's going to be a great wrestler for us.
Let's talk about the class of 2027 further. What kind of leader do you want to be for the class of 2027? Is that somebody, of course, lead by example on the mat, but do you see yourself as, vocal? You're going to do some additional recruiting as well. How do you want to be seen when it comes to helping continue this class of 2027 and really establishing it?
Just Penn State really recruits their own. You just see how great everything is. You don't really need to be sold on Penn State. So like, it sells itself. You see how great everything is and all the success. If in wrestling you join so you can be the best you can be, and that also comes with winning stuff. And all you see is the Penn State guys winning. So I feel like Penn State does a really good job at selling itself, and such a great program.
Still to come on this episode of Locked On Nittany Lions, in this exclusive interview with Landon. Landon's going to tell us about his goals, his expectations for not only his time at Penn State, but his entire wrestling career. We're going to get into all of it and more coming up next here on the show. This episode is brought to you by Wayfair. The holidays are going to be here before you know it, which is exciting, but getting your home ready for guests and celebrations can feel like a lot. Maybe your serveware needs a refresh, or the guest room could use new bedding. Wayfair has everything you need to get your home holiday ready, from Christmas trees and wreaths to bedding, cookware, and outdoor inflatables. It's your one-stop shop for every room in the house. Wayfair makes it easy to personalize your home for the holidays with a huge selection for every style and budget. And with free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff, you can get everything you need without the hassle of huge delivery fees. You will love how easy it is to find the pieces that will fit your style and your budget. Everything was in one place, and checkout is a breeze. Delivery, it is fast, it is free, which is a lifesaver during a pretty busy time of year. Now, instead of stressing out about getting the house ready, you can actually enjoy the holidays with friends and family. Get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less with Wayfair. Head over to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That is WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Today's episode is brought to you by SupplyHouse. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with SupplyHouse. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting on projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Do you need parts fast for a project? Well, SupplyHouse has next-day delivery. Talk about a game changer. The part finder tools and 3D schematics can save you hours on jobs where every detail matters. Their Trademaster perks like priority shipping and dedicated support make the whole process smoother. Join the free Trademaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That is supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. I think that's very well said. Let's continue with goals that you're going to have, not only for the remainder of your high school career, but also at Penn State, and then beyond that. So let's bring it to the present. Going into your junior season, you have your senior season, of course. Again, you're class of 2027, and you're making this decision fairly early. So for the remainder of your high school career, what is it about at this time? You're 72-2 in your high school career. You've already won a state title. You were a Pennsylvania state title. You were probably going to be a favorite your sophomore season, but again, hit with that adversity. So now how do you roll into your junior and senior season to capitalize? Because the top goal is winning a state championship, but how can you make that experience even better? How can you know that you made this experience better through your final two seasons?
I'm training to be prepared for college now. If you're shooting your goals that high, I feel like you're gonna be very prepared for your high school goals. So I just feel like every day I'm very focused on getting prepared for NCAA level, which I feel like that's just going to take care of my high school. But I'm very excited to compete. High school, there's a lot of great guys in high school. You can't look past that. These guys are going to be also the guys you're going to be wrestling in a couple of years at NCAA. So it's just very excited to compete against these guys. Just keep level-headed. Can't look too far past these guys. You can't look past these guys. These guys are all great. So just staying engaged with everything and just making sure I'm the best version of myself going out there.
Goals while you're at Penn State. This can include just about anything. I'm talking about competition goals, winning multiple NCAA titles, whether that's, some personal accolades, whether it comes to, scoring or pins, academic accomplishments, those kinds of things. How do you want to see your Penn State career go overall?
My goals in life has always been growing up. I want to win NCAA titles. I'm just very excited to go out there. I always watch Penn State. Growing up, a lot of great guys. I have posters. I got to pull them out from the 2012, 2013 team, and they're all signed. It's pretty cool to have. So I'm excited to see that part of it too. Even the home duels, it's just say when you get to wrestle the Big Ten opponents and Bryce Jordan and everything, it's like I can't wait to be the guy out there competing.
And then after Penn State, now there's the luxury of still, you again, we're not here to map out your entire future, of course, but, talking through it, hey, you get to still compete with Penn State, represent Penn State, or be involved in that room with the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. So do you have any aspirations to chase, world titles, Olympic titles, anything in freestyle, or do you see yourself, hey, maybe pivoting to coaching of some sort? What do you see? How long do you see your competition career being active if everything goes accordingly?
Yeah, I definitely see myself competing after college. I love wrestling, so it's like I'm gonna stay engaged as long as I can. But when I'm done, I'd really like to get into coaching. Like after today, I'm gonna go. My uncle runs a youth club right now. I'm gonna go in there tonight and help out. So um, I want to stay engaged with the sport. I really love the sport. I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time if I have a job that's not with the sport. So I just very excited that Penn State gives you the opportunity to stay in the sport so long.
All right, as we wrap up here, these are some quick hitters, if you will, for questions just to get to know, hey, Landon the person, just some more personable questions here as we wrap up. And then one final thing that you would like to say to, Penn State fans to get to know you better and what kind of competitor you are on the mat. So in wrestling, what's your go-to takedown move? Is it just kind of whatever the opponent is giving you on that moment, or do you have a favorite go-to that, I know I'm going to get a takedown from this?
I feel like every match is different, but I
Mhm.
feel like I do really well at just leg attacks in general. But I'm also good at running snap down, go behind stuff like that. So there's nothing really like hurry up. I gotta hurry up and I gotta do this. But those seem to come up the most. So I'd say those are my go-to.
Is there a wrestler, is there a Penn State wrestler that you talked about those 2012, 2013 teams? Was there somebody that just anybody overall that you looked up to, you maybe took pointers from their wrestling style, the way that they competed?
I always liked watching Zane. Zane was a killer on the mat, man. The arguably the best dude ever on tops, and it's just he was so awesome to watch compete because that dude was just so violent and everything. It's just he's a fan favorite.
What's been the hardest? Maybe it's a practice or match. Can you point to a moment where just exhausting, but it made you so much better? That workout, that one practice, maybe it was a day in the mat room with your team at Norwin. Just what was that moment that and it's like you circle back and it's like, man, that one was difficult.
Coach Kyle, he pushes me every day in a practice room to keep me going. So I feel like every day I'm in a practice room going so hard that I remember him when I'm done. It's just I'm very grateful that Coach Martin does that for me every day. So I have the results I do, but there's not a certain day I remember. They're just all tough, and like I'm very grateful for that.
Maybe it's Zane Rutherford, one wrestler that this is just closed off practice or a private one-on-one session. Who is somebody that you'd just like to scrap with? Just 20-minute hand fight, if it could be anybody.
Man, that's a hard one. There's so many great guys. It's just I Zane. I like always watched Zane growing up, so that I'd probably say him.
All right. Best pre-match snack or best tournament snack that your go-to to feel energized before a match.
Man, I'm not the guy for this question, but I'd say I like the Uncrustables. Those are probably what I have the most.
Do you have a go-to song, or what do you listen? Maybe it's just silence. Maybe you're just trying to get your mindset sharp. Do you have a go-to song or something you listen to ahead of a match?
No, I usually just put my headgear on. Just when I put my headgear on, I just feel like I'm ready to go, locked in. I'll get a quick little like warm up in the back. Just stay bouncing around, pacing around, just so I feel like that's my pre-match thing.
All right, final question here to finish things up. Penn State, what do you want the fan base, the Penn, people that follow Penn State wrestling and everything about it? What do you want to say to them? What do you want them to know about you as you join the class of 2027 here?
I'm very happy to be a part of Penn State. You're gonna see every day. I'm gonna push myself to be the best I can, and I'm just very excited to be a part of this.
All right. Privileged once again. Very privileged over here on Locked On Nittany Lions to welcome back Landon Sidun, Penn State wrestling commit for the class of 2027, joining us here on the show. Socials will be linked down in the description, so give him a follow. You can keep up with his career during high school right now and follow along his journey before he arrives at Penn State. Hey, Landon, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on the commitment, the recent results, and best of luck through the remainder of your high school career.
Thank you for having me back on.